We want to turn now to major developments in really what is the story about the American government today. The online leak of highly classified U.S. documents. U.S. officials say they have now identified the suspect behind the leak. He's a Massachusetts Air National Guardsman. He worked at a military base, and he posted the documents in an online chat group on the Discord platform. For more, let's bring in ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez, along with ABC News contributor, former acting Undersecretary for Intelligence at the DHS, John Cohen. So, Louis, first, how are officials responding to this report, and what does it tell you now that they've identified the leaker worked on a military base?
Well, Terry, ABC News is reporting that an Air National Guardsman from Massachusetts has been identified as a person of interest in this leaks investigation, and that authorities are looking to interview this individual. Now, the New York Times has named this individual, this Air National Guardsman. ABC News is not identifying him at this time, but has reached out to family members for comment. We have also reached out to the National Guard Bureau. They have issued a statement to ABC News where they confirm that they are aware of the information of these reports out there in the press right now, and they also say that they understand that the National Guard takes this issue very seriously and will support investigators. They say that national security is our foremost priority, and any attempt to undermine it compromises our values and degrades trust among members of the public, allies, and partners. They also say that they are deferring comment to the Justice Department, which is, of course, leading this criminal probe into the very, very big leak of classified information, which is the biggest intelligence breach that we've seen since the Edward Snowden case about 10 years ago. So a lot of activity here in the halls of the Pentagon as reporters are trying to match this information that came out originally in the New York Times, and also a lot of comments from officials who were surprised by this information, obviously. And I think the first thought is this is going to bring back memories of Chelsea Manning, because the Chelsea Manning was also a very junior enlisted person at the time, back in 2010, when she stole a ton of documents, 700,000 of them that were provided to WikiLeaks. This level of information that we're seeing now, per the Washington Post, it could stretch as many as hundreds of documents that have been shared over several months, that according to the Washington Post. So a lot of breaking developments here in this case, as you just mentioned.
And a lot of damage assessment to be done. Louis, thanks. So, John, it's just incredible, this story, right? Apparently, this was a guy, according to the Washington Post, who, had a little group on Discord, the Discord platform. It was really a gamer's platform, and he just started sharing America's secrets with a bunch of teenagers, I guess, to look impressive to them. Anyway, what is your assessment at this point of what we're looking at here?
Well, you're right. Discord is a platform that was used by young people in high school and college and gamers, but increasingly it's been used more and more often by criminal organizations, foreign intelligence services, and violent extremist communities as well. It's private. It allows people to share voice, video, documents, and do so in somewhat of a controlled way. If I were back at my old job, though, I would be concerned about three things about this incident and what it tells us. One, we need to do a lot more to safeguard classified information. Thousands of people have security clearances. Sensitive information is readily available over computer systems. We need to do more to use high tech to track inappropriate handling and disclosure of this information. Second, we need to get a handle on the fact that we have an uncomfortable number of active duty military, law enforcement, and government personnel who may be adopting or at least find resonance in extremist or conspiracy theories, and they are willing to act on it, whether it's an act of violence or to engage in activity such as disclosing classified information. And finally, we need to take a hard look at how law enforcement and intelligence organizations look at online activity. Foreign intelligence services, criminal organizations, terrorist groups, individuals who seek this country harm are all using social media and internet communication platforms to achieve their illicit, illegal, and sometimes violent objectives. We're not changing our investigative or analytic processes to take that into account. And this is another good example that we need to do more at the government level and with non-government agencies to evaluate online content. Protect privacy and civil liberties, of course, but also recognize that activity online is facilitating illicit, violent, and other activity that's harmful to our national security.
Absolutely, John. That has been true, however, for years. And it does seem it's possible, given that some of these documents, as they moved beyond the Discord platform, the chats in Discord, into the broader internet, had been doctored by perhaps pro-Russian forces or the Russian government itself. My point, why isn't the United States more already in these spaces? Why isn't the security apparatus of the United States already aware, as apparently Russia is, that these ungovernable spaces in the internet are ripe for exploiting?
The bottom line is that we know we need to do more, and we haven't done what we need to do. And it's incredibly frustrating for those of us who recently left government. It's incredibly frustrating for people within government that we haven't gotten a handle on this. Yes, there are complexities. Yes, there are privacy and civil liberty issues that we need to take into account when we develop these information collection and analytic protocols. But as you point out, countries like Russia, Iran, China, foreign terrorist organizations, domestic violent extremist groups, criminal organizations, they're leveraging these platforms. They're using them, whether it's to promote content intended to inspire attacks, or whether it's to facilitate communication amongst people who are operating on behalf of these criminal or other threat-related organizations. This needs to be a top priority. And and Terry, if I'm just going to be real candid, I think part of the problem is that the toxic political environment here in Washington not only is preventing lawmakers and others to come together and understand the threat, but it's certainly impeding our ability to develop solutions to this threat.
Absolutely. Louis, I just want to pick up on what John says, that too many people in the American government have access to sensitive materials, just shared too widely within the government. That's been known for some time. What are they doing about it?
Well, that's a really good question, Terry. My colleague, Matt Seiler, spoke with a senior U.S. official this morning who agreed with that assessment, that highly classified information is being shared too widely across the United States government, and said that whoever was responsible for this leak, that this qualified as a massive betrayal. And I think you could qualify that as a massive betrayal of trust, because the reason why so much information is shared widely is so that it can be used for active intelligence gathering, for active operations. And the people who have access to these documents, they have been screened. They have these top secret clearances. They've undergone months of background checks in order to be able to access this type of information. And so there is a breach of trust that takes place. So since this incident first became public last week, what we have seen here at the Pentagon is officials tell us that there has been a restriction on the access to some individuals of this information. Because as we have been reporting, it looks like maybe hundreds, if not thousands, of U.S. government officials have access to this across the U.S. military, across other government agencies, and of course across U.S. intelligence. So when you limit that information, there's also going to be concern, are we limiting ourselves too much?
A delicate balance, but these revelations are going to unfold over the coming months. We're going to see how bad this was. Louis and John, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.